How's it going?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, I hope your day is going well. And today we are going to be doing the craziness that is my October TBR slash the rest of October, I guess, because we are almost halfway through. I'm going to be doing my Spookathon TBR, which is going from the 15th to something. I'll maybe insert it, we'll find out. And I will also be telling you my Booathon TBR, which is the readathon that I created. That is going to be going from the 21st to the 31st. I will link the announcements. I will be telling you guys what I tentatively plan on reading. That is a couple weeks away right now, and I am a hardcore mood reader, so I don't know if any of these books will be read by the time that I get there, or if the books that I've wanted to read during the Spookathon will be read. We'll basically play it by ear. And Booathon, if you didn't know or haven't heard about it, it's a very easy readathon. It's more like a multimedia-thon. You can definitely take a movie and satisfy a challenge, a TV show and satisfy a challenge, a song, a video game, pretty much anything. You just have to tell us what you're doing for Booathon, and you need to participate 7 times. That is actually part of the challenges. But I'll go ahead and start with Spookathon because that is the one most people know. That is the big Halloween readathon that Books and Lala puts on every year, and I will be going into those challenges right now. There are 5 challenges for the Spookathon, and the first one is always read a thriller, and I will be reading The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. I honestly couldn't tell you what this is about. This was in my fall TBR video, and I'm excited for it because I think it has something to do with cheerleaders. I don't know, just going off on a limb here. And somebody gets murdered. I'm about this life. If you didn't know me, this looks great. I'm not really a thriller person, but I can get into this. The next challenge for Spookathon is read a book with a purple cover. And I will be reading Ghostly Echoes by William Ritter. This is the 3rd book in the Jacoby series. This series is a Sherlock retelling where the Sherlock, Jacoby, can actually see supernatural creatures. I've read the first 2 books and they were amazing, and I cannot wait to get to this one. Following that, the next challenge is read a book not from our time period, and I will be reading Freaks by Amanda Hocking. This takes place in the 1980s, and from what I can tell, it's about a freak show. I'm into it. It has a beautiful cover too. I really like this version of it. I'm very excited to get into this one. The next challenge is read a book with a spooky word in the title, and I'm going with one that's kind of spooky. I'm not quite sure, but I have to fit this book in somewhere because I gotta read it this month. And that is Daughter of the Forest, and I'm gonna say forest is a spooky word because why not? My book club picked this month, and I need to get around to it, so I might as well just include it in Spookathon. Following that, the next challenge is read a book with pictures, and I am going to be reading a very anticipated book that I think was on my TBR last year for Spookathon, which is The Dead House by Dawn Cardigich. This is told in case files and pictures, and I am about it. I think it's about a girl who either escapes from an asylum or was in an asylum. I'm all about this. It looks great. I may start it early because I've been wanting to get around to this for like a legitimate year. Like, it's been a minute, so need to get to it. And that was the entirety of my Spookathon challenges. Moving on to my Booathon challenges. These are a little bit tentative, so bear with me, they may drastically change. I plan on hopefully doing some vlogging during my Booathon, readathon, multimedia-thon shindig, so please stick with me on that. I will update you guys on Twitter as well as Instagram, so if my TBR changes, you will be alerted, trust me, and please let me know what you will be reading during this very spooky time. But the first challenge for Booathon is read or do something with orange on the cover, and I chose The Savages by Matt Wyman. This is basically what I can tell, kind of like Addams Family plus cannibals, and I'm about that life. And the next prompt is going to be a retelling, and I am going to go with The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. This is so spooky and creepy, and I've been excited for it, and it's nice and short, so I think it'll be a good one to go with. Obviously, you can do a movie retelling. Anything goes for this, but this is obviously a Frankenstein retelling, so I'm into it because Frankenstein is pretty much my favorite classic of all time. And the next Booathon challenge is an adaptation. I'm thinking I'm going to be watching the Sabrina Netflix special and also reading the new Sabrina graphic novel. Kind of want to switch it up there. I have no no reason to believe that these things are not gonna change. And I tried to keep the Booathon challenges really, really simple, and I just went with Spirit. And to satisfy that one, I will be including City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab herself. I happen to love Victoria Schwab, and this book is a middle grade, and I've heard amazing things about it. It is about a girl who can see past the veil and interact with ghosts. This seems great. A middle grade should be super easy for me, even if this is a super busy time of year. I definitely want to get into this book. Now we're getting into the part of the TBR that I'm not quite sure about. We will find out kind of how this goes. The next prompt and the last one that's kind of a specific-ish thing is the word enchanting, and I kind of want to get to The Magicians by Lev Grossman. All I know about this is that there are people with magical powers and they're kind of assholes. That's pretty much all I know. There's a TV show. I've wanted to get into it for a while. I think it's on Netflix. So I may attempt to get into this. If I don't like it, because I know a lot of people have had problems with the series, I may just try watching the TV show. We'll see how it goes. I do have 2 more challenges for the Booathon, Readathon, Multimedia-thon, but I don't really have specific choices for those yet. There is the dealer's choice, which is find a recommendation for the community and shout that person out, and then also just participate 7 times. I do have 4 more books though to show you. So any of these books could really work for this challenge, or these last 2 challenges, but I'm not positive if I'm going to go with any of them just yet. So I'm gonna show you the rest of these, and then when the 24th rolls around, I will give you guys a more updated TBR. So bear with me on this. This is a little bit hazy, but I just wanna get you guys kind of like up to date on what I'm thinking about reading for my very exciting readathon. A book that I've started already, and it's mostly because it's long as fuck, but has been recommended all over BookTube and Book Twitter and pretty much everywhere, is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This is the sequel to The Diviners, and I happen to love, 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 love this series already. It's one of the best books that I read of last year, and this is, I'm already 100 pages into this, and I love it. I was thinking of using this as my recommended choice, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finish this probably this week, and it is not anywhere near the Booathon. But I wanted to get into at least 1 more book in this series this year because this is such an atmospheric series set in the 1920s. It's spooky. There's people with powers. The 1920s. Get on it. It's really fucking good, and I want to be reading it right now. But a book that I plan on buddy reading with RC from Neko the Book Lock is The Novice by Taran Matharo. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Someone in the comments of one of my last videos told me how to pronounce it, and I've completely forgotten since then. This is about a guy who can summon demons, I think. I'm very interested to see how this works out. I want to really buddy read this with RC because, like, I feel like this is a really popular series, but nobody talks about it on BookTube, and I've had this book for like 2 years now, so I really need to get around to it. Stacking them and now you can see them, haha. A book that has nothing to do with really any spooky vibes, but it has like a sci-fi twist that I'm really excited for, is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I will be reading this in time for the Barnes & Noble book club. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I will just be attending the book club and manage to get a copy. I'm very excited for this. Hank Green is John Green's brother. This has like a John Green cover, and it put me off from reading the synopsis, but then I did read the synopsis, and this is like about a girl who encounters like aliens for the first time and then puts it on YouTube and becomes like an international star, and I'm super about that, and I already really like the writing style. I read the first chapter and I'm into it. So I hope to read this before the 24th, which is the National Book Club for Barnes & Noble. So I'm into it. I don't know about you guys. It sounds great. I'm not a John Green fan, but I might be a Hank Green fan. Cool. And the last book that I plan on reading in October, hopefully, is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. This is a book about witches. I know, right? I am so good at this. But yeah, this, I have heard lots of good things, lots of good things. But I have heard this has witches, werewolves, demons, maybe not demons, vampires, but no, it fell. But I've heard really good things about it. It also has a TV show that I've been interested in looking up. I just know that this is like higher fantasy, adult fantasy, but like paranormal, urban fantasy, that I'm like, you know what, might as well just give it a try. So yeah, that was the books that I want to read in October. Okay guys, those were my picks for October and Booathon and Spookathon, and things are getting really spooky in here, so I'm gonna go now guys. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff, bye! bye.